Okay, so let's begin with a quick review. This lesson is about multiplying two binomials. The expression expand, that instruction also means to multiply. So that's the focus of today, to multiply algebraic expressions. What we've learned in the past already is how to multiply when we have a monomial times a binomial or a trinomial. But the outside there's only one term. And what we do is distribute. So expanding also means to multiply or distribute the value that's outside the bracket to everything that's inside the bracket. So 2 times x is 2x, and 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. For example 2, 5x times 2x, that's 10x squared, and then 5x times 3, that's 15x. Review question number 3, we're going to distribute the negative 4 to all three terms. So this monomial times a trinomial will result in another trinomial. So it'll be negative 4x squared. Negative 4 times 3 is negative 12x. And negative 4 times negative 5 is positive 20. And for example number 4, we have negative 3x squared. That's the first one. We have positive 6x, remember to multiply, and we have positive 3 for the last one. Today's lesson, the new challenge is what do we do when we want to multiply a binomial, because this is a binomial, has two terms, this is a binomial, multiplied by another binomial. And that's the challenge. Do we multiply x times x and that's it? How about the 3? How about the 4? What about the 3 and the 4? How many times do we need to multiply things together? There are two ways to remember how many times. So one way is to use a chart, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. And the second way is the FOIL method, because according to the pattern there will be 4 products. So when you multiply, you're going to have to multiply the first terms in each bracket, the outer terms or the outside terms, the inside terms, and the last terms. And if you look at your answer, you'll see that the answer will always be in this form, and that's a quadratic relation. So that's how we're going to connect this to the topic that we're working on right now. The chart method works just like a multiplication table. So if you turn your sheet over, you'll see a times table chart from 1 to 10. And it's just asking a quick question. If you had to describe 3 times 7, most students would say, well, you go from 3 and you match it up with 7. You find your answer. Or you can also go from 3 here and match it up with 7 and you find your answer. So it's always one vertical and one horizontal product. If I were to circle a different number, so if you see here, 49 is right here. And that's the product of 7 times 7. So this method is helpful because if I look back at our first example here, x plus 3 and x plus 4, the chart method asks that I put each value in the bracket separately. So x and positive 3 and x and positive 4, one across the top and one across the bottom, and then the answer will be right here in the boxes. Just like that's where you find your answer when you're using a times table chart. So if we do this, it'll be x times x, and our answer is x squared. X times 4, and our answer is 4x. That's for the top row. And then 3 times x, that's 3x. And 3 times 4 is 12. If we collect like terms, you'll notice there's a 4x value and a 3x value. They both are x's. So those are considered like terms. They can be simplified together. 3 plus 4 is 7. So our answer is x squared, positive 7x, and positive 12. So all of those 4 values can be simplified into 3. If I wanted to use my FOIL rule, so I can do that up here, we need to multiply the first number with the first number, the first value in each bracket with the first value. So x times x, that's x squared, that's our first. The outer products would be the outside terms only, so if I erase that. The outside terms are x times 4, and that's 4x. It's outer. And then we want the inner values, that's 3 times x, that's positive 3x. So the inner values, if I erase all of those, the last would be 3 times 4, which is 12. And same thing, that's last. If I collect like terms in the middle, the value at the top I could write equals the value at the bottom here. Try the other ones. I'm going to write the final answers, and then we can talk about it, or you can ask for help if you're stuck. But the answers to each of these are as follows, and see which method you like better to get them. So 2x squared minus 13x minus 7. Remember, that's already simplified, so if you can't see where the 13 comes from, try it out. The answer to number 2 would be 2x squared minus 6x minus 20. And for the last one, the answer is negative 3x squared minus, let's check here, plus 7x plus 10. Oh, sorry, my mistake, the middle term, gotta fix that. It's not 7. Sorry, it's plus 1x or just x. Great. That's all, and we'll have more practice tomorrow.